I can build in 2 years a business that takes 40-year-olds literally decades to build. And it's not because I'm actually any smarter or I'm doing anything special. I'm literally just using a blue ocean strategy, if you will. And I've always hated the word blue ocean because it implies that you're doing something that's never been done before, that you're the only one doing. And that's like actually never real in business. That doesn't happen in business. You are always doing something that is another version of what someone else is doing. And in business, those are the best ideas. You're gonna get the best new ideas from existing successful businesses. For example, I was booking a jet this week, and when you actually book a private thing, there's a sales process involved. So you call a brokerage and they coordinate an itinerary for you and they present you a list of options. So I called a couple of different brokerages trying to get the best flight for myself. And in those options, I went with one broker, declined another. When I declined the other broker, something interesting happened. And this is a new sales process that I wasn't aware of that they are doing that we have now adopted for our own company. And it's specific because they have a very high transaction value. Like you're spending multiple 5 figures, low 6 figures on a flight with moments notice, like a 30-minute call and you're dropping 6 figures. It's a really, really short sales cycle, really, really high transaction value, which is very similar to the marketing company that I have, where we have multiple 5-figure, 6-figure contracts negotiated over an hour-long call. And specifically what this air charter brokerage did was they sent me an email from their director of sales asking, hey, how could we have made this better? When I declined to work with them. They are getting immediate feedback on every single one of their customers for every single one of their sales reps. And it reminded me of a way that we can combine it with another strategy from a completely different industry. So again, not an industry that we're competing in, it's actually the timeshare space where they have multiple different sales reps. And upon giving some kind of feedback to one of the sales reps, for example, like if you decline the timeshare presentation or if you decline the sales opportunity presented to you on the timeshare, instead of just saying, oh, we lost the lead, because those leads are really expensive, because again, they're very high transaction amounts, very short sales cycles, they don't burn that lead. They just move you to a different sales rep. And they have a wide diversity of sales reps that they offer you. Some that are more low pressure sales, where they just present the price, give you an option, and then you can choose to either accept or decline the opportunity. Some that prefer more leadership in the sale, where the sales rep is way more active in the sales process. So they'll negotiate with you, they'll guide you through the decision, and they'll be more active in the sales process. Different people respond to different kinds of sales reps. So any good timeshare company has multiple different styles of sales reps available for you to potentially purchase from. And if you decline purchasing from one sales rep, they're not just gonna burn the lead, they're gonna move you to the other sales reps. And with the combination of those two, both asking for live feedback immediately when the sale is lost and potentially offering to transfer you to a different sales rep, you can really capture a lot more opportunity out of every single lead. So the combination of those two is something new that we're testing. And none of those are my original thoughts. I literally just got them from other very successful industries just by modeling them, just by taking what's working for them and applying it to my social media marketing company, essentially acting as a blue ocean strategy, because I don't see any of my competitors doing this. Because becoming blue ocean isn't about having a new idea that's never been had before. It's about taking an idea that has definitely been done sometime in the time of history before with another industry and being the first person in your industry to present it. That way, all of your customers don't see your competition as real competition. They see them as doing something completely different. You are unique in your space and you create the blue ocean. We also take a lot of lessons from the medical industry on our fulfillment side. So looking at how hospitals run their day-to-day procedures in life or death situations. Sure, you get a nurse when you come in, but you also talk to a doctor. And there's kind of like levels to the level of prescription and the level of care you get depending on how severe your case is. Now, every single person walking into a hospital gets an exceptional amount of care, but at certain times you loop in specialists for certain diagnoses. So for example, you might have a neurologist come in and prescribe something very specific. He's only in there for 15 minutes, but he fully understands your case. He is tactical, he is a specialist. And then once he gives his diagnosis, he leaves and an entire team steps in to take over him. Sure, the nurses are there to make sure that all of the actual prescriptions that he did are followed, but then you also have medical assistants who are making sure that your vitals are checked every 4 hours and that everything is going according to plan, that you have tons of supervision with you. And that really elevates the status of a doctor. Like, you wouldn't think of a doctor as highly if he was the one wiping your butt when you needed it, right? Or changing your IV. He is only there to give a medical diagnosis, and then his time is better leveraged, better spent doing other things, but they have other people to come pick up at the slack. Whereas in most agencies, you're allocated some idiot who's working for like minimum wage as an account manager who has no actual specialty, and you rarely have an opportunity to work with a specialist. But by having a similar structure to what's very successful in the healthcare space, we can model their success, we can leverage our highly skilled people very well while still providing an incredible amount of attention to detail and care to our clients throughout the entire engagement. Another blue ocean principle we took actually from the software space, where we offer a 7-day free trial on our work, which is unheard of in the agency space. Why would an agency spill its guts, give all of its information to all of the clients who could potentially run away and steal the information? It's because they're highly skeptical. And we can win clients over that most agencies can't, because our customers are problem aware. They know they have a problem, which is that they're not doing social media. They're solution unaware, meaning even if we presented the perfect solution to them, they wouldn't know whether it's the right solution or not. They don't know what the solution is. That's why they need help. And so instead of trying to force a sale onto them, by taking a lesson from the software space and just demonstrating our expertise in those first 7 days, demonstrating our work, our onboarding process, we can get a lot more deals over the line than any of our competitors can by carefully structuring that 7-day process. We've also taken a page from the private equity space. So our lawyer has tons of experience in mergers and acquisitions and IP protection. And when we first started our agency, we noticed a lot of clients were stealing from us. Like, it just happens. And I would love for no one to have ever stolen from anyone else in the world ever, but it's just not realistic. So we have to protect ourselves. And I learned this from actually my social media career back when I did have a lot of people stealing my content, ripping it off. The platforms would enforce some kind of IP protection, but we also have IP protection for our agencies. So instead of just being susceptible to when a client wants to take us for a ride and steal our intellectual property and then sell it on the back end, we have great lawyers in place to be able to protect us for that. Whereas most agencies just have to let people steal from them. Like, they have no recourse. Sure, they have a signed contract, but a signed contract doesn't mean anything. The client charges back their money, or the client refuses to continue paying for the services that you've already given them. And you're out money because you have a team to pay, whereas the client gets to run off scot-free. And when you really think about it, it's not that any of this stuff is revolutionary. Like, you probably know other companies do it. You just haven't connected the dots yet for your company to have all of the best practices from all of these different industries all into one. And that is all that business is. You're not having to think of these ideas from scratch for the first time yourself. You're not alone in this. You can just look at what another business does. You can pay them for their information. You can work with them and experience their software, their services, and learn from them. And if you're not learning from them, you truly are one of the greatest idiots in business. And the only reason I even run this business in the first place is because I know I have an inherent advantage over everyone else. So we run a social media marketing company. I have a lot of experience on social media. I've done social media marketing for some of the biggest companies in the world: Amazon, PayPal, Dr. Pepper, Robinhood. I've been in those ads. I worked for those companies. I wrote the ads. I filmed the ads. They ran hundreds of thousands of dollars behind those ads. I am the one that did those ads. And so I have the experience. I have millions of followers on social media. I know what works. The only reason I have entered into a market in the first place is because I think I can make it a blue ocean based on my experience, based on how much better I am at this than my competitors. And I hope that none of the competitors watching this decide to compete with me on short form. It's literally the worst idea, because you're gonna be worse than me. You're gonna be worse than my cumulative team of 50 people who have cumulatively decades of experience doing this. It's so hard to compete. If I was to compete with me, I would compete on literally anything else. I would try to get clients through cold email, through some kind of outbound method, through LinkedIn. Whatever platform I am not on is the only thing I would do. Because as long as I am in short form content, it is a blue ocean. It's not even a comparison. My competitors are standing on the beach doing something completely different. And you should always look to find what that opportunity is for your business. It might not be short form content, but there's always one thing that you can do better than anyone else, and you have to make that your competitive advantage. Create your blue ocean environment so that you can win no matter what.